All right, so we have talked about methods, how to create them, how to call them, all that fun stuff. Today we are going to move into working with string objects more in depth. So I can make a string object in this way. This is the way we've been making strings. I say my string, give it a name, and then I can give it and make it equal to a string literal. So this totally works. So it works absolutely fine. But since string is a class, we could also use the string constructor. We can say my word equals new string and then use the string literal there. Either way works. We've been doing it this way because that is the much easier way. It's way less characters, way less typing that we have to do to get that in there. And this is because strings are a very commonly used type, especially in Java. So they made some special tools you can use to work with it in base Java. So since strings are objects, they have a variety of methods associated with them. And there we can find a long list of all the methods if we look up the documentation. And next class, we're going to go into more depth about some different string methods. But for now, let's just look at these three. We've got concat, we've got replace, and we've got toUpperCase. And all three of these are going to return a string with some value appended or with some change made. So concat is going to add the value to the end of our name variable. Replace is going to, replace all instances of A with the letter P, and it's going to return a new string. And then toUpperCase is going to return whatever the string in name is in fully uppercase letters. So one quality that string objects have in Java is immutability. And if we break apart that word into its base parts, we have our prefix in, which is generally going to mean it's not able to do something, and mutability. Mutable, we think like mutate, which is things changing. So immutability means that it cannot be changed. And so strings contents cannot be changed. If you want to change what's in a string variable, you have to completely overwrite it. You have to get rid of what was there before, give it a new value. So because of this, all of these string methods that we're going to call, they're not going to change the value in the string object you call them on. Instead, they're going to return a new string after the operation takes place. So if I make my string name equal fluffles, and I just call name.toUpperCase, and I print name, what do you think I'm going to see here?
The lowercase fluffles.
See fluffles in all lowercase. If I wanted to actually do something with this, I could make a second string equaling string name.toUpperCase. And then when I print out both of them, I'll see fluffles. That F should be lowercase. And I should see a fully uppercase fluffles. So just keep in mind that when we call these string methods, they will not alter the variable. They will return a new string with the alterations made. And you are able to overwrite, so I could just say name equals name.toUpperCase, and that will overwrite my name variable with a fully uppercase version. But you need to make sure you actually assign a variable. You can't just call the method and expect it to work. So the only way to change a value in a string method or a string object is to completely reassign it because of immutability. So if I make my string name equal Fluffles and I print it, I get Fluffles. If I change my name to equal Munchkin and then I print my name again, name will now equal Munchkin. I'm not allowed to make changes to any individual part of my string. Does all of this make sense so far? All right. So now we're going to talk about concatenation. Concatenation is the fancy programming word for when we smush two strings together from end to end. And we're going to do this using the plus operator. So like we would do addition, we're going to, if you add two strings together, you're going to just kind of smush them end to end. So if I have my first name Fluffles, last name the cat, my full name is going to be first name plus last name. What will I see when I print full name?
Fluffles the cat without spaces between between Fluffles and the.
Absolutely correct. I'll see Fluffles the space cat. Now, if I wanted to add a space here, I need to include a space in one of the strings that I'm concatenating together. Otherwise, I'm not going to get spaces. The concatenation operator, the plus, is not automatically going to add any white space. So I can add a space here to get Fluffles the cat. I can add a space here to get Fluffles the cat, or I can add a space in between the two when I concatenate them together. And that'll add a space to the end of first name, and then I'll add last name to the end of that string that has resulted. But in all three scenarios, I'm adding a space to my strings in order to make sure that it is added to the final output. If you want to update the value in a string variable by concatenating something new to the end, you can use the plus equals compound assignment operator, just like you would with math. So if I make my first name equal Fluffles once again, and I make first name plus equals space :3, give it a little cat face, and I print first name, that will totally work. Plus equals works with strings just like it does with numbers. Does concatenation and how it operates all make sense? I think we've worked a little bit with concatenation, so a very nice feature within Java is that if I concatenate a variable of any primitive type to a string, it will just work. So word plus 5, that'll give me word 5. Huh plus 3.4, bird plus y, yes plus false. All of those are going to give me a correctly concatenated value. It'll work every single time. As long as the value I'm concatenating is of a primitive type, so int, double, character, or Boolean, it will just work. All right, so let's look at this program. What do we think our output is going to be? If I have an int current age equals 50 and int add equals 10, and I print in 10 years I'll be current age plus add, what do we think the output is going to be here? Any guesses? Nope.
In 10 years, I'll be 5010.
Yeah, correct. So what we will see is in 10 years, I'll be 5010. And that's because our order of operations is going to go from left to right and it's going to see this plus sign first. It's going to implicitly cast current age to a string so that it can be concatenated with this string. And then we're going to add our addition value to that string. We'll get 5010 instead of the number that we were looking for, which is 60. So if we want to make sure we get addition before we do that typecast, parentheses are always going to give us that order of operations precedence. So if we want that math to happen first, we would want to put the addition, the math, in parentheses, and then we can concatenate with a string, and that will do the operation that we want it to. A quick little refresher on escape characters. We talked about these at the beginning, and you can add these to any of your strings if you want these special things to happen. So if you add a /n, you will add a new line character in the middle of your string or at the end of your string, however you want, wherever you put it. /t is going to add a tab to help you align things horizontally. If you want to include a quotation mark in your output, you need to escape it so that Java doesn't think you're actually trying to close the string literal. And if you wanted to actually print out a \, you need to escape it so that Java doesn't think you're trying to do an escape character. That all cool? All make sense? All right. Then that is our lesson for today.